you guys? You're coming back in from lunch. Was it fabulous? Good. So my name is Cid Pearlman, and I make dances. And I make dances because so far it's the best way that I've found to communicate things that I feel are important to me. Now, the dance studio is a place to experiment. It's a place to take chances. It's a place to risk failure. But the important thing is to open yourself up to the experiment. Some days we get positive data. Some days we get negative data. Nonetheless, we go in and we practice, and we get better at what we do. So today what I'd like to do is to open you up to our rehearsal process so that you can get a chance to see what it is that we do. The dancers that you're seeing are doing a movement score. It's Sarah, Damara, Molly, Nishan, and David. And a score means that they're working with a set of instructions, not set movement. I've asked them to always be losing their balance, always be giving into gravity, losing their center only to get it back and lose it again. And they're supporting each other in this task. I've also set an approximate time limit for each interaction, but mostly they're making the decisions as they go along, choreographing in the moment. Later, the movements will be set and polished and may or may not go into the final work. But dancers are smart and they make smart decisions. So not only are they considering what's going on with their own bodies, but they're considering how they are in relationship to other bodies, how they are in relationship to the props, how they are in relationship to the geography of the stage. Your body is not a shark, and I'm realizing I don't have my clicker. Thank you, and thank you, dancers. And they brought me up my slide. Your body is not a shark. They're so good. Is a collaboration between Joan Jeanrenaud, who is our composer and cellist, Denise Lido, the poet and dramaturg, and Maya Barsak, the conductor and musical director of Cadenza Chamber Orchestra here in Santa Cruz. The work will premiere at ODC Theater in San Francisco in January of 2013, and it will be followed the next week by performances here in Santa Cruz, which we're building in at Motion at the Mill. We're really working site-specifically there, and it's going to be very exciting. We're in the very beginning stages of this project. We've only been working 3 or 4 weeks, so all of this is very new to us as well. Now, this new work is an investigation into the inevitable fragility of the human body. At some point in our lives, we will each experience a lack of physical capacity, a diminishing of social presence. It may come quickly, it may come over time, but it will come. Now, the collaborating artists are women 41 to 55. The dancers range in age from 18 to 62, which is kind of extraordinary. It's a multi-generational project. And from the collaborating team, one of us has MS, and one of us has laryngeal dystonia. And we're using some of the issues related to these disabilities to inform our process, using the stumble and the stutter as central metaphors for creating movement, meaning, and text. Artists ask questions. In this piece, we're asking what happens when we stumble, when our words won't come out, when the body stutters. And we're wondering together, how can music, movement, and language evoke a broken wholeness? Now, this is one of the poems that we're working with. Denise, the poet we're working with, is creating 6 poems for the 50-minute score. Each poem is in a different formal style. One is lyric, one is chaotic, one is a tanka. This one here is a concrete or shaped poetry, which means we are drawn to the appearance of it as much as we are to the meaning of the piece. And so what we're doing with this poem is trying to imagine it and embody it. And take it into our bodies. And so what we did is we took a bird's eye view and we imagined what the dancers would look like if they were the words on the page. And so what I'd like to do first is read that first page and show you the kinds of movements that we generated in relationship to the text. Dancers, are you ready? And I'm going to sit on the floor because that's what I do in rehearsal. People are always like, you dance and you move around a lot. And I sit on the floor and I give suggestions of what people can do. And I don't think I'm blocking anyone's vision over here. So I'm going to sit on the floor because this is my traditional position. Here we go. Out of the anatomy narrative, the brain reroutes matter. Aspects of the body, indeterminacy, so that its movement, the brain reroutes matter. So that its movement, you'll notice a reiteration there, is the same as its touch. Not art as the limit, aspects of the body, same as its touch, concentration, alertness, pain. But rather when the limit out of the anatomy narrative, before anything is created, the thinking that occurs. But rather when the limit becomes the art, every nuance indeterminate, the whole piece, worn away by water, becomes the art. And this is our odalisque. The whole piece, transcription, incantation, curse, as though drowning, were nearer to us. The thinking that occurs. So now the dancers are going to go ahead and with a sound bed that Joan created using Denise's voice, perform a 6-minute section that we've developed. And again, it's early stages. We're not sure how this is going to sit, but you'll get to see this movement and then another 3 pages of text. Denise is working, because the stumble and the stutter is a central metaphor, Denise is working a lot with repetition and in fractured lines, breaking things up and repositioning them. And so you can look for similarities in the choreography when they run, when they shift to a side, when they turn, and these correspond to the words in the poem. Dancers, are you ready? And sound, can we go second track, please?
Every mechanism neurologically and sharp, it could rip my throat reading this is kind of the evolution of your relationship to your body. Speech is a code for speech. Each body is its own. It's kind of the evolution of your relationship to your body. Reading is a code. What it and you don't sound good. It's muck up. I don't know who who I am anymore, and that sort of undermine my confidence in moving through the world, and then to have the world reflect back, not always, of course, but in a sort of way negative is not immortal. Then there's this that it will disappear, just as I'll find my voice again, but it's always different. You're being body, which is quieted, aquatic striation. It's really interesting. When your body sounds how you see yourself. What from above might look like sun with swaying limbs. Every mechanism neurologically. The shark of mind. How fast it moves away. It could rip my throat right out of the tree in my body. Reading is a sensitive approach to the world, and sort of hears or observes in a kind of way that allows for different. Is a coat. When I first meet someone, it's really interesting the way it changes how you move through the world and how you see yourself. My like my sun, my swaying limbs. Every mechanism neurologically, there's nothing in deeper fighting path. It could rip my throat right out of the tree in my body. Reading is a code. Speech is a code for. It's really interesting. The way it changes how you move through the world and how you see yourself. A deeper empathic attunement with others and how we move through the world. Fragmented, dreamscapes, soundscapes, fragmented, previously invented, unexplored. Feel it, like sadness or something, and then it's broken, and then it's broken, and you don't sound good. It's I don't know who I am anymore, and that I don't know who I am moving in that through the world, and then to have the world reflect back, not always of course, but in a sort of way back, not always failures, but in a sort of way negative. I'll find my voice again, but it's always different. You're being quiet. Sound and utterance, a beautiful thing. Sound and utterance, a beautiful thing. Sound and utterance, a beautiful thing.
So thank you, dancers. We're going to take a little bow. And I want to thank you for sharing our open rehearsal. It always feels a little vulnerable showing things at the beginning stages, but this is the process that we're working with. And in using these different texts, opening ourselves up to new ways of working, we're setting a set of limitations around what we can do, a set of rules. And from that, new ideas and a freshness arises. So what I'd like to do is leave you with something to think about, maybe not during the next presentation, but as you walk out. I'd like you to think about what new things your limitations make possible. And thanks again for sharing our open rehearsal.